Everybody loves Psalm 23, the Shepherd's Psalm. But what if you read the Psalm with the Psalm that comes before it, Psalm 22? Something very unique happens. So come with me and find out. So Psalm 23 begins by, "The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want." Go to Psalm 22, it begins, my God, why have you abandoned me?" Now you cannot get two openings more polar, more opposite than these two. So let's walk a little bit through Psalm 22 before we get to Psalm 23. Psalm 22, you have a psalmist that's very, very close to death. He's looking at death's door. And the reason why is because there are animals surrounding him. He has a pack of wild dogs about to attack him. In addition to that, he has the bulls of Bashan. The bulls of Bashan are powerful because in Bashan they have belly-high alfalfa fields, and they can just eat continually until they get to be enormous. In addition to these animals about to attack him, he is also, you can count all of his bones, which is another way of saying that he's naked. He has no clothing. He doesn't have a bulletproof vest. He doesn't have pads, hockey pads, or a football helmet to protect him. He has nothing. In addition to all that, he's in the darkness. Now, just at the moment of impact, just when all things seem to be lost, there's a mood swing. He changes and he says, "Thank you, God, for coming." And he has all of these wonderful things to say about God. Is there something great just happened just at the moment of impact? And he is very excited. And so you try to figure out what happened between the moment that he's going to die and then the moment that when God comes and saves him. He has that realization that God was actually with him. To give you an example of what this must have been like, I was working for a farmer for a couple of weeks, and he had me take out the rocks and bring them to the cow field in the back. So I had my wheelbarrow full of rocks, and I was walking to the back of the field, and when I was about halfway there, the herd of cows, some of them had horns, and they just got up and they went full speed toward me. I never knew cows could move that fast. I panicked. I thought I was going to die. Luckily there was a tractor trailer right near me. I made it there just in time, and I'm standing on top of the seat, and all of these cows were all surrounding me, and I was just I must have been there maybe 20 minutes. It felt like eternity. I just thought, I'm never going to leave here. I was going to be stuck. Then the farmer saw my predicament, and he came down and he shooed all the cows away. And I said, "Boy, am I happy to see you." He said to me, he says, "Oh, they wouldn't have bothered you." Apparently they thought that the wheelbarrow was full of food, so they came running over to me to get fed. And so I said to him, I says, yeah, they wouldn't bother me when you're around. And I think that's the point of the psalmist, is that you don't worry when God is around. And so now let's go to Psalm 23. So now we progress to there, and then the psalmist is now saying, "The Lord is my shepherd, there's nothing I shall want." Now in this psalm, the shepherd prepares a table for him. It's a banquet table with all kinds of food. And it says he prepares a table before you in the sight of your foes. So you have a lion and a bear coming out of the woods, coming right toward you. And instead of the panic mode that you had when you were in Psalm 22, now you just sit there and you continue eating because you're comforted. And the reason why you're comforted, because his rod, the shepherd's rod and staff, comfort you. Because if the bear and the lion have any ideas, they're going to get a big bop over their head. And you're happy there, you're content. And then you realize that you're walking and goodness and kindness follow you all the days of your life. And then you end the psalm by saying, "That's all I want, is to be with God." So what's happening here? When you add Psalm 22 and 23, what you have is the spiritual journey. It's the roadmap to your spiritual life. Sometimes it always begins that like we don't feel like God is with us at all. We feel like that God has abandoned us and is not there. Then we feel like there's problems are just surrounding us and pain and suffering. And then we realize that God is really with us. And we understand that we have this comfort that God is with us with his staff protecting us. And at the end of the journey, our final goal is just that we want to be with God. So when we read these two psalms together, you can track your own spiritual progress. You can say, where am I in this journey? Am I right now feel like that God is not in my life at all? Do I feel like that God has abandoned me? Do I feel like all my problems are surrounding me and and I'm in panic mode, or maybe I'm at the point now that I realize that God is really with me, and I have that great comfort and that goodness, and that every day I feel like the goodness and kindness is following me every day. And then the goal of life is just to say, I just want to be with God. So that's a spiritual journey. So hopefully that we're getting toward our goal. The final goal in our spiritual life is just to be we just want to be with God. So check out these two Psalms. Don't be afraid to put Psalms together. Don't isolate. The Psalms were meant to be read together, and so we can come up with new, fresh insights as the psalmist walked us through his personal journey. We can track our own. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and come back, and I'll see you next week.